We are live on YouTube, and it is the 195th episode of the Mina's House podcast. Woohoo! I'm Mina, say what?
I'm Shana B.
And that's it.
For right now.
For right now, we don't know. A couple of people might drop in. You know how we be on CPT time. I will say, Shana, you for the most part are always on time.
Thank you.
Always there when you call, always on time. So that I can appreciate you for. Okay, we'll see who else dips in here at some point. How you been? How's your week?
This week has been hectic. And it's gonna be a long one, but I'm ready for it.
You still dealing with the flood? We got flooded out in New Jersey.
Well, not only that, my niece is getting married this weekend. So
already?
Yes.
She just got engaged like 6 months ago.
Yep, they don't want to wait.
Wow, that's how it should be. These people out here be engaged for 10 years.
Yeah, so they having a nice, small, intimate backyard wedding. They wanted it to be a regular barbecue. We've already made it probably way more than they wanted.
Yeah.
Between myself, my mom, my sister. My sister is all on board for regular. And her fiance's mom, we've already probably stepped it up way more than they wanted to. That's why I just had to go on Amazon and order an owl runner now, which my niece is like rolling her eyes like, I don't want all that. But
I don't understand people like that.
She's like, they kept saying like, we just want to barbecue, we just want to be married, because we can't have everybody there. It can be as simple as can be. And then when we have our big ceremony, we'll do it all then.
You know what? Another thing to consider is also COVID. Like they might be thinking about being COVID safe.
And that's what it is. Like we're only going to have maybe 40 people. And really, that's mostly his family. My family is super small, so it's just
that's a lot of people, girl. That's a wedding.
That's what I'm saying, because he's one of 9 children.
Oh,
he's the youngest of 9. So the bulk of it is really his brothers, his sisters, his nieces. I think we got like 10 people, and that includes me, my mom, my youngest niece, my nephew. Right. The bulk of it is all of his sisters and brothers and everything. And that's what I'm saying. Like, even just that with immediate family is kind of big. So, and I think that's what it is. Like, they just keep saying, like, let's just wait. And then when we do everything, like, we'll have everybody and we'll do all the stuff.
That makes sense. I want to invite. I like free food.
But it's definitely going to be regular barbecue. We tried to.
I don't care what it is.
Look, we tried to step up the food. They were like, no, y'all doing too much.
We want hot dogs.
They were like, that is enough. I'm like, okay.
Well, there's no wedding planning going on here. It's just work. I don't think I told you I'm writing for the Philadelphia Tribune now.
No.
Yes. I've written 2 articles for them. So, on the radio, I do a lot of entertainment-based stuff. So I kind of wanted to do like different things to just kind of show like my versatility as a journalist. Because I feel like when I've tried to like expand outside of radio, people just are like, oh, well, you're the radio girl. Cause I've been doing radio since I was 18. So like they put you in that box of like, that's all you can do. Like, oh, it's a good thing that I've been doing that since I was a kid. But the bad thing is that's the only thing I have on my resume. So when I'm trying to like venture out and do other things, they're like, well, everything on your resume is radio. And I'm like, do you not understand how much radio is like, it's sales, it's promotions, it's digital, it's writing, it's all of that. It's creative, it's personality. It's just a lot that I've learned from my career. So like my goal, even before the pandemic, and the pandemic kind of put a monkey wrench in it, but my goal was to just kind of like diversify my skill set, at least on paper. Like I know what my skills are. I know that I can edit audio and edit video and do TV. I know that I can write, I know that I went to a journalism school, like I have the tools, but people don't see that on paper. So that's like kind of like the first step of me trying to venture outside of, like entertainment, music, and radio. So I've been writing like real stories about real stuff.
What's up? I love it.
Yes, girl. And my articles have been printed not only on the online version, but also the print version. So in the Philadelphia, if you're in the Philadelphia area and you pick up the Tribune, you might find one of my articles in there. So I'm only doing one article a week right now because that's kind of all I can handle. Between my two
you do got
radio
a busy
shows.
schedule. I was about to say your schedule is pretty packed.
Yeah, so I am just doing like one article a week, but I'm okay with that. I'm really happy about it. So, and my goal is to be in sports. So that's like the next thing, maybe this will help me get in there through like the writing side. Who knows? But let's hop into what's in our feed because there's a lot going on and a lot we need to talk about. Nicki Minaj literally caused a firestorm on Twitter. So she got COVID and she's been isolating in her house, obviously quarantining. And there's all these events that she could not attend because she had COVID. And then she even said she would not go to the Met Gala because she did not want to get vaccinated. Apparently, that was the requirement to go to the Met Gala. So she started having this dialogue about the vaccine and how she doesn't know enough about it. She said Drake got the vaccine and still got COVID.
His business out there.
Right. Put all of his business out there. So it's like she's going through things that she's heard from people instead of, hey, I researched this, right? She tells one story about her cousin in Trinidad who says he knows a guy. So she don't even know this guy. Is her cousin's, the friend of a friend who took the vaccine in Trinidad, not even the United States, in Trinidad, which we don't know what happened, what that person took, what vaccine are they taking, none of that, right? Took the vaccine in Trinidad and said that his testicles got swollen and he was about to get married. And because he was impotent because of the vaccine, his woman left him. Like, what? So it caused a firestorm. People started coming at her saying, how dare you use your platform to spread these misnomers or these lies or these, these stories that have no base to them. What was your overall reaction to this whole thing?
I had several issues with it. Hey, Nicki, nobody needed to know. Like, right. I mean, I know that people were asking why you weren't at the Met and everything, the gala. You could have just said I declined. Because first you just said I declined. You could just left it at that. My second thing was, yes, why are you putting Drake's business out here to validate what you're going through? Like, did Drake tell us he had COVID? No, he doesn't have to. You didn't have to. But,
no, Drake told us he had COVID. Okay, we just didn't know he got the vaccine.
But the vaccine, right.
Right.
Oh, that was my second thing. So she says her issue with the vaccine, and I don't have anybody having an issue with the vaccine. Nobody has to take it. It's totally your choice. I think you should, but it is your choice. Obviously, again, we want to live in a world where we are able to make our own choices. Right. But I do have a problem with the misinformation. So she said something in her tweet like, and Drake was just as sick as me. And I know people that got even sicker when they got COVID because they had the vaccine. My issue with that statement was, Nicki, it's not a one size fits all vaccine or disease. Like, cause we ain't gonna call it a virus anymore. We're gonna call it disease. Everybody has a range of different symptoms.
And we don't even know what strand they had.
Right.
Like had everybody, the new strand.
There are kids who are asymptomatic. So It's like, for you to say, like, to use that as validation, for all we know, your symptoms could be really mild and Drake's could be really mild. Like, we don't know. So that was my other issue with it, like the misinformation of it, like to kind of validate your situation. And then furthermore, this whole thing with her cousin's friend, Nicki. Did you really think about this story before? And I like you, Nicki.
I don't understand why she told the story. It sounds crazy.
Crazy. First of all, I laugh because I feel like Black people and Caribbean people, Black people, we all the same. In general, we always got to make a person in the story to validate it. Like, my cousin friend said they seen this. Where did your cousin friend see that at?
And
like,
do you know this person?
But you associated it enough for us to kind of believe it. But the fact that this has broke the internet, the CDC just released an article about her tweet to dispel the rumors that are in her tweet. And I'm just like, Nicki, you are too smart for this. Unless your goal for the day was to break the internet, which then that you successfully did. Like, then you accomplished your goal.
Listen, Dr. Fauci had to make a press release. Dr. Fauci went on a press run after this.
I'm like, Nicki, he definitely sound like he got a whole STD. Like, let's just put that out there.
I was gonna
Full STD.
you don't know what he's taking. Like, he could have been taking another drug that had like,
he could have already had chlamydia,
like had like a reaction, and we don't even know what vaccine he took. Is it the same vaccine that we take in the United States? I don't, the healthcare systems in these countries are different. It would have been different if it would have been like my cousin that lives in Chicago took the Pfizer vaccine and this is what happened. It was like my cousin's cousin's cousin.
It would have been different if it was my cousin, like not my cousin friend who
like so-and-so who don't even live here took this vaccine and now his balls are swollen.
You know what it reminded me of? Do you remember when that vicious rumor was going around about Sierra, that when she was on Oprah and she said she was a hermaphrodite, and people used to swear by it like, no, it was on Oprah. Did you see the episode? No, my cousin saw the episode. Like, everybody's cousin or friend saw it, but nobody had ever seen it. That's what it reminded me of. Like, Nicki, you want to tell this story about your cousin, friend of a friend.
Right.
Said, like, come on now.
That's what, for me, that's what blew me. That, like, I was okay with the dialogue. I know people started to kind of bully her on the internet. I think these are conversations that a lot of families are having, a lot of people are having. Do we want to put this into our body? People have the right to make choices. You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
But it's like, for you to tell this story about someone not being able to have sex because of the vaccine, Nicki, did you really think that through? In Trinidad.
And then you started this firestorm of misinformation, because then I saw from there people were like, no, she's right, because it's a proven fact that the vaccine keeps you infertile for 30 years. And people were like, but y'all the same people saying that the vaccine doesn't prove anything. So how is a proven fact that it's going to keep you infertile for? And I'm like, that was my other issue with it. Like, it just started this downward spiral of all this misinformation.
I know plenty of people that done got pregnant after they got the vaccine.
And that's what other people were saying. One other girl was like, no, it's a proven fact. It messes with women's cycles. How is that proven? I've not seen it. I got the vaccine. My cycle fine. Like, who's proving these facts that y'all saying?
That's what I'm saying, girl. Your cycle been off because you having sex with everybody raw and letting them nut in you, girl.
Like, you might got endometriosis or something might be going on, a regular cycle, but it was not the vaccine.
Girl, I will say this. I think I was late with my period, maybe like 2-3 days, right? And it just kind of like lined up where I started taking like a new vitamin, and and then I got the vaccine, and then my period was like behind like a couple of days. So I called the doctor, right? And to say like, does this vitamin, so I've been going through
doing all these other things.
I've been going through the process of trying to, doing testing to freeze my eggs. So I have not really talked about it. It's a private thing. I'm still dealing with it now. You know what I'm saying? But I've been doing the testing.
But those other things, probably not. It just so happened that it was in the timeline that you took.
So they got me on some pills called CoQ10, which are vitamins, to help your egg be strong so they could freeze their eggs. Do I want to have children? I'm not planning it right now, but I do want it down the line, and I want a couple, so I want to freeze my eggs, right? So I thought maybe the vitamin maybe had like a side effect with the vaccine. I don't know. I called just to ask because I'm very regular. And the nurse did say, and this is what the nurse said to me at the fertility clinic. She did say that some people are reporting that when they take the vaccine that there's the next month they have like irregularities with their period, but it's not a long-term thing.
Right.
It's like, and the fertility nurse did say that to me. Like, when did you take the vaccine? When did you get your last period? When did you start taking the vitamins? Like, we did the math. So I think some people may be having that reaction just based off what the nurse said to me. you know.
But it's
But
the
that
same thing.
wasn't
Go back to, it's not one size fits all. Like,
right, but it's not everybody. And then I figured out that it wasn't even the vaccine because I had the vaccine way before I started taking the vitamins. Right. So it's like we figured out it's not the vaccine, it's probably just, an irregular month or whatever.
But Nicki broke the internet with this.
But so what I'm saying is like there's some there when it comes to like some women must be going through this, but for people to say that it's gonna make you infertile for 30 years, that's not what the nurse said to me.
Somebody said, so my 31st year I'm gonna be fertile again.
Right, like girl, your eggs are all the way dead after that, girl. You only really got them until you like 42, girl. I don't know what you're talking about. Anyway, so like it's just like that, the misconception. And again, everybody's body is different. I'm not trying to go on a tangent about the vaccine.
No, everybody do what they want to do. It's your choice. But just like I took the vaccine, I don't really spread any information out there other than we're talking about it because again, it was my choice to take it. Like whether you do or you don't. And I just feel like for her to have the platform that she does and to tell this, it wasn't even just like, I'm not taking the vaccine, period. And that would have been fine. Like people would have still had something to say about it because Nicki Minaj, because I think she did say she wanted to do more research. That's fine. And, there were, to your point, people bullying her like, oh, you didn't do research for your butt shots. Regardless, if she wants to, and that was funny. I thought it was funny, but if she wants to do more research, again, that's her choice.
That's what I don't understand. I'm gonna do more research, people.
But if you say that,
how much more research are you gonna do, man?
But when you're doing your research, you should have probably researched this story about your cousin friend, is what you should have researched before you tweeted.
I just don't know what y'all researching. Like y'all putting y'all getting BBLs and letting doctors cut into you and getting ass shots. You drinking Hennessy every weekend. You popping pills. I don't understand the logic, but you know what? We're not gonna have this conversation. Let's move on to a similar topic because I felt like this is an appropriate conversation for what's going on in our world. So United, the airlines, is putting people on unpaid leave for not getting the vaccine. Now, you know that the CDC released guidelines saying that, you should get that companies should be requiring their employees to get the vaccine, or they should be requiring weekly COVID tests, right? And there's been exemptions for religious reasons. United is saying that if your exemption is for religious reason, they're just going to put you on unpaid leave. It doesn't matter, right? If you ain't got the vaccine, you ain't got it. I wanted to kind of have a conversation about that because is that fair? Is that where we are in the world? Is this an infringement on religious rights? I mean, to my knowledge, I haven't seen any religious communities come out and denounce the vaccine because it has any bearing on, your religious beliefs. I haven't seen that. I don't know what the exemption would be for religion, but I just kind of wanted to have that dialogue,
Yeah, I mean, there are just some religions in general that don't believe in like shots, vaccines, period, whether it's this one or the other. To your point, I haven't seen them weigh in on COVID, but maybe they don't feel like they need to. If it's like, again, for their religious reasons, they just kind of exercise or practice. You shouldn't do those things. So that's number one. United, though, I feel like it's funny. Like I know Delta had came out and said that unvaccinated employees would not be able to like have sick time or whatever if they get COVID. I feel like that's reasonable. To say that everybody, if you don't get the vaccine, is going to be put on unpaid leave. Again, although I feel very strong that especially if you are flying all the time with people, you should probably get it. I do feel strong that people should have the choice, whether it's religious or not, to get it. So you're basically saying, like, again, you're like furloughing me, like I got a job, but I don't really have a job because I'm not getting paid. And I don't know if that's necessarily fair. But again, as a company, and we do live in the world of capitalist American, companies have the right to do what they want to do as the private entities. So it's unfortunate. But I mean, I know a lot of people just privately that are going through it in their jobs now. Like where the jobs are telling you, you got to take the vaccine or you have to leave. So, it's going to get to a point, I think, very soon with very much public facing jobs where I think everyone is going to say, You have to have it. And it
Yeah,
is going to become weird in a sense.
I just think that like this is so brand new that people are just so hesitant, but like your kids can't go to school without certain shots.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, but we don't fight that because it's been that way for so long. This is the same kind of requirement. You can't work with other people if you have the potential to put these other people at risk because you're going to contract COVID and maybe have it worse than other people, or you know what I'm saying, and then spread it. I mean, the science says, right, the science said that you can still catch COVID if you have the vaccine, but your symptoms are going to be less than, theoretically, are going to be less than someone who catches it without the vaccine. So I think if you're working in a public space, especially, you got to think like the airlines, they're traveling from place to place. These are key people that could be passing around this virus from country to country, city to city. I think it's different than someone driving FedEx or UPS or Amazon, where you're sitting in a truck by yourself, delivering packages. I just really think it comes down to what you do for a living. Are you dealing with mass people? Like, it's crazy to me. I be reading the news and there's people that work in the hospitals that you're dealing with sick people all day. You don't want to get a vaccine. You're getting fake vaccination cards. You are literally with people that are sick. You know what I'm saying? Like I just think when you're in a public space, because this is such a public health hazard, these are going to be some of the requirements.
Yeah. I mean, it's already what federal and state
it's now
are going to be required.
Yeah. And here's the thing. These insurance companies, if you get COVID, they're starting to get to a place where they're trying to not cover people or raise your premiums. They're raising premiums for insurance.
I think that's why they made this decision.
Right. Think about me as a company. I have to pay your insurance. You're my employee. And because of your personal choice, now I got to pay more for your insurance because you don't want to take the vaccine.
You're in the ICU, whatever.
Right. Like, no, this is a business that's already struggling. So it is a difficult decision. And I do think people have the right to make a choice. But I also think when you work in a capacity, when you're in a public space and you're in a public health crisis, there's going to be different requirements from you as someone that deals with a lot of people.
Yeah, for sure.
And if that's not what you want to do, then you need to get another job. You need to get a private job, maybe a job where you're not working for an airline or around so many people. I mean, it's unfair because this is your career. These people work their whole lives to do this. And then, a vaccine is going to get in the way. But that's where people got to weigh out their priorities. What is more important to you, having that job or not getting this vaccine?
Right.
And you got to make that difficult choice.
Yeah. I think it's definitely, and like to your point with United being a struggling airline, and that's why I brought up the Delta example. I feel like Delta can do that because financially, even though all these airlines technically quote unquote took hits, but they got money. But Delta is a different, business-wise, is a different style of airline than United, which is just a struggling airline compared to those other bigger ones.
Yeah, I mean, I feel bad for these people, but it's really like, this is a time where we have to stop thinking about me, and think about our society, other people. And that's what I think people have been struggling with the most in this pandemic. Like, everything is about me and what do I want? And you're not thinking about how your actions are affecting someone else. Mm-hmm. You're in a hospital setting and you're not getting a vaccine. Someone could die because of you.
Yeah.
Because of your personal choice. So now more than ever, we're so super reliant on each other when it comes to our health. I have to rely on you to wear a mask so I could be safe.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I got to rely on you to get the vaccine or trust that you have the vaccine. And that's why you ain't got a mask on. Like, there's a lot of trusting that's happening right now. And people are not thinking about the greater good. They're thinking about me. What do I want? Without any regard to how it affects other people. I was on Amtrak the other day, and they specifically tell you got to keep your mask on the whole time. And there's people taking their mask off. One guy was coughing. How you coughing with your mask off in a train? We not outside. This air is stagnant.
That part I don't get. I really, really, really
Hello.
like. I have a problem with that.
But this is what I'm saying. People have zero regard for other people and their health, and that's what makes this scary. So I don't mind if a company is going to require people to do something that's going to keep other people safe. And I'm sorry you think it infringes upon your civil rights or whatever, or not your civil rights, your personal rights, or or whatever. But this is the world that we're in. We're talking about people's lives here.
Yeah.
So it is, what it is. I mean, we'll see how this plays out, but we're going to look back at this 10, 20 years from now and be like, remember all those people that was fighting this? And this is going to be one of those vaccines that you just have to have as a child.
Yeah. Yes. It's going to be literally routine. You get it every couple of years, just like, the other vaccines you got to get when your child's going to college, to be on a college campus or whatever, it'll be the same.
Yeah. Khloe Bailey. There's been a lot of conversation about Khloe. We met her when she was very young, and, her father manages her. So they, her and her sister Hallie have been very sheltered and kind of portrayed in a certain way. She signed to Parkwood, which is Beyonce's company. So they've been carefully curated, right? But now we're seeing her. She's 21 years old. Mm-hmm. She's coming into her sexuality, and she's everywhere, busting it open, ass out, jiggling all kinds of stuff, touching her vagina. It's a lot to go from the little girl that we remember seeing to the girl busting it open on the VMAs. How do you feel about this sexuality? Is she an adult? Should we respect it? She's coming into herself, or is it a little bit too much and too fast?
I feel like we should respect it. I feel like even if you look at their last albums as sisters, they tried to, like, from their outfits to the lyrics and the songs, they were trying to, and you could already see them making that shift to allow them to be a little bit more adult. And obviously then we saw Khloe herself on her social media, expressing herself a little bit more. So I feel like they have tried to do it in a way that's gradual. It might not be as gradual as we like it, but they've tried to do it in a way that's like, she's coming. And I feel like it's so hard for, actors, actresses, singers, entertainers, rappers, when they make that transition into that adult age, because we can't really, it's hard for us to accept it after we've already accepted them as a certain level. Like, I think there's some people that are exceptions to the rules, like somebody like a Monica felt like she was a grown woman when she was a child. Like, it was just something about her, but she also never, and still to this day, is not very hypersexualized. So we didn't have to make a big mental shift with somebody like a Monica, where I do feel like, I get where, like, some parents are upset because they're like, well, my kids, grew up on them. But it's like, yeah, she can't stay a child forever. Like, she can't. And is that fair to the artist for them to then stay in a box? I feel like she's done it enough. It's done in a way that some of the Instagram stuff I would say is a little bit over the top. But again, that's what her age range is out here doing on the gram. So I can't be as mad. I just wouldn't do it. But I feel like she's okay. We got to embrace it and let her be her. And her sister is like, I'm not trying to do all that. I'm cute, right, but I'm just sitting over here chilling. I'm trying to be Disney,
right?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm all for women being comfortable in their bodies and doing what they want. I do think, though, there is a trend, and this is just not even particular to Khloe. I just think there's a trend where everybody is showing everything. And it's like, when did we get here? Like, it used to be like a couple, like now it's like Normani and her and Meg, Khloe, not her, but her Khloe, yes. Her be covered up. But it's like Normani and Khloe and Megan and City Girls. And it's like all these girls are like doing the same thing. And like that's really more so what strikes me. Like, why is it that this is what you got to do? You know what I'm saying? Like, why is it that, how did we get here is really my thing. I think she's really pretty. Yeah, I mean, I think she's really pretty. I think she has a banging body, but to me, it's just a little disappointing that she has to do what everybody else is doing. You know, like she's super talented. She's producing her music. She's singing her own background vocals. Her voice is exquisite. She's writing. She's so damn talented, dedicated. And like, I just feel like you're more than you don't need to show your ass. You have talent. You know, like you don't need to over sexualize yourself because
and maybe
you have the talent.
She wants to because she knows she is talented. Again, I mean, even if she didn't, she could, to your point, she could still carry her voice, her performance, everything. But maybe that's what she really wants to do because clearly it's not something that's being forced upon them. Because you see, again, her sister's like, no, not doing all that. So it's not something that like from a management standpoint or label, like somebody's forcing it on them. So maybe it's something she wants to. Now, granted, to your point, the whole what we see and how we consume it and what our younger girls are going to be doing, I'm like kind of scared because again, I don't even know why people pay for OnlyFans because I'm like, I feel like you can see this stuff on Instagram.
Right.
But I don't know what's on OnlyFans either. But I just feel like you see so much on Instagram. Why would you have to pay for something else? Because it's just so much free access to over sexualize things. That I totally agree with you on. But with her, I feel like it's just, or not her, but Khloe, I feel like it's just something maybe she wants to do.
Yeah. You know, I went to I was up at Syracuse hosting a concert and I went to a basketball game and the football game, excuse me. And I was like looking at what the college girls are wearing. You want to know why? Because everything is out. Like I don't remember being in college and having everything out. I remember us having sweatpants on and a white beater.
Sweatpants, sweatshirt.
Right. This girl had her whole ass out. I'm like, girl, you at a football game. This ain't the club. Why you got your ass out? Her whole ass was out. Look, she had the booty shorts and the crack. Look, I got them too. But I wear them to the club, not to the football game. So it's like, it's really more so for me, it's just a more of that, you know, like, you know, she's a beautiful woman. She deserves to do whatever she wants for her body. I just don't understand why it's over the top the way that it is. That's what I don't understand. You know, like when Beyonce does it, she does it in like a tasteful way. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Even Beyonce's been showing a lot of ass lately. It's like a trickle down effect.
Yeah.
Which brings us to the topic for today, which is who's responsible? Who is responsible for this over sexualization that we're seeing in music? When did it happen? Who did it? Because someone opened this door and then someone else busted it open. So how did we get here? I literally, when I was watching the VMAs, that's literally what I was thinking. Like all these girls are doing the same things. Like, how did we get here where you got to twerk and have your ass out and boobs out and you got to dry hump another girl or another male, or you got to, you know, grab a boob or a titty? Like, when did we get to this is what everything is and this is what people have to offer?
Instagram did it. I'm telling you, it was the visualization of it. Because when you think about music has been sexualized. I'm not gonna say over, but sexualized for quite some time. Like you'll listen to old songs and you're like, wait a minute, I was young singing this and I didn't even know what I was singing. So I feel like lyrically it always been, but the difference is visually and how we consumed it. You know, again, for me to now be 40 and just realize what a song was really saying because I didn't have to see it. I wasn't on Instagram watching the artist twerk about it. I feel like once we got into the Instagram age, deeper than MySpace, where we just had tracks, and Facebook, which just was configured differently, when people know, and I don't know who really started it, that you were able to visually do these things differently, and sexual things and over sexual things got more attention. It just kind of shifted in everything, in entertainment and music and the TV, and it just like keeps going and going. Because to your point, here we go, Janet Jackson couldn't show her little boob and her nipple, but now everybody doing it. Like everybody owes Janet an apology. Everybody. The FCC, everybody.
I literally just said that. Like I just had this conversation because we were talking about Lil Nas X and how Tiana Taylor and Normani, nobody had a problem with their performance. Normani's dry humping Tiana Taylor and then, you know, twerking on her upside down. Like no one has an issue with that, but everybody has an issue with, you know, Lil Nas X. And I literally said, I think we've evolved so much regarding our threshold when it comes to women, right? I don't think we've evolved as much when it comes to male sexuality, but when it comes to women's sexuality, literally Janet showed her boobs and they crucified her. Like now we see cracks, boobs, all kinds of stuff, and it's like normal. So it's like, I think over time, the sexuality has just been kicking up and kicking up. Different artists have been pushing the boundaries. You talk about Little Kim's, Madonna's, you know, Janet Jackson's. I think it was like a door that like different people kept like, you know, kind of opening up. Then Nicki Minaj came, and I think she kind of busted it open a little bit, you know, with the huge ass and everything, and her being so mainstream. And, you know, I mean, I will never forget the truffle butter song.
Oh my gosh, yes.
I remember thinking like, oh my God, we're playing this on the radio. And like, I just, you know, when I looked up what truffle butter was, I'm like, ew. You know, I just think little by little, it's been like a trickle down effect. And all these people have contributed to it. And I think, in my opinion, I think Megan just busted it all the way open.
I wouldn't blame just her though. I mean,
I'm not blaming her. I just think it took it to like another level. You know?
I would say, you know, right then it was like Cardi, City Girls, and Megan all at the same time. I feel like, yes, people were twerking and doing little stuff, but they were like these bigger artists that were doing it on such a large level. Like you can't not see no one twerking now. Like it just doesn't happen. Like it was happening before, but it was not happening to the level that you got little kids, you know, in videos twerking. And then we got TikTok that's showing you how to do it. Like, so it's like the three of them, you know, the two artists of the group kind of like formatted and framed it a little bit more, that it pushed it out there. But I will say, like, I remember even, and I laughed because when I said Instagram, remember at first when it was a big thing, like Instagram had banned the nipple, and people, again, and this goes to where we are in society, they went on Instagram, like, you shouldn't be banning the nipple. Meanwhile, I don't see no penises on Instagram, but y'all can have a woman's nipple all over the place.
Right.
But there ain't no penises popping up on there.
Right. I don't want the penises to pop up, girl. I'm just saying, sometimes they be sliding into my DMs and I'm like, ew.
I'm just saying, to your point about women, I think when you talk about Normani and Tiana Taylor, it is a shame that, yes, Lil Nas X gets more scrutiny for what he did and women don't, but I feel like that's everything in music. I was just watching, what is that movie, Really Love, that everybody's saying is like the new Love Jones. I liked it. Don't get me wrong, I liked it. But you know what I mean? Like, we got to see her whole titties, but we basically saw her private, and Kofi, all we see is his chest. Like, that's just the norm, that apparently women, we're supposed to be like these over sexual beings where you see all of our stuff, but the men is like a hidden doorway.
Right. I don't know how we got here. I don't mind it, you know. No, it's not like I'm mad at it. I think people have the right to do what they want with their bodies. I just don't understand why everything is that. That's my thing. Yeah. Like, we should at least have diversity in different artists doing everything. It's almost like, in order for you to make it in the industry at this point, you got to get your body done.
Oh yeah,
you got to get a butt.
You got to be twerking and shaking on the internet. Boob.
Right. Like, it's like, what, like, this is a whack formula, bro.
You gotta twerk, because if you ain't twerking, you ain't getting no hit.
Right. Like, this is a corny ass formula, and everybody's doing it. And I'm like, I'm okay with City Girls and a couple of people doing it, but damn it, somebody be different. Somebody do something different. Khloe, you don't gotta do that. You don't gotta do what she's doing. Normani, you don't gotta do what this other girl's doing. But they're all doing the same thing. And it's like, come on, y'all. That's what I don't understand.
Another person who needs an apology is Uncle Luke, because y'all was banning his videos and stuff. And listen, look, it's when he was doing is like not even as scandalous as what happens now. Like, and remember, like, people, they banned him from Florida. Like, it was crazy. And now this is like, you just open up Instagram and scroll and it's just happening.
That's what I'm saying. I think little by little, we've gotten used to over sexualization, and it wasn't like one thing. I think it was like a gradual opening of the door of, well, this happened and that happened. I would love to take a course on the sexualization of women in music in college. I would love to take a course or teach a course or get it together, because this didn't happen overnight.
No, it was a long time.
This has been stewing, and everything from these little things like Janet and Madonna kissing the girl, you know, when she did that, it was like, oh my God, or Britney, you know, like Little Kim, Nicki Minaj. These are all women that contributed to this, you know, Foxy Brown, Megan Thee Stallion, Cardi B, City Girls, you know, like it's been gradual to the point where now this is like the criteria for you to be a female artist. Have a big butt, get your body done, twerk, and show your ass, show your body. That's fake because you got it done. Like I just
act like it's real. Act like you really. I'm not saying y'all don't work out after, but most of y'all be acting like it's just real and it's not.
Right, like girl, you got that nipped and tucked.
And I'm not mad that you got it nipped and tucked, but like just keep it real.
Right, exactly. Don't be out here talking about I'm working so hard, girl. You got it snipped and then went and got a massage and then you started working out. Like, it's just too much. It's just
a lot.
So, but look, to each his own. You know, you got to parent your kids. I don't have kids, so I don't got to worry about that. But you know, I would hate for my daughter to be at a football game with her whole ass out. I'd be like, little girl, what the hell is wrong with you? This is not where you put your ass out.
Listen, and I know it's NOLA, and I know the culture is a little different, but there was, I think it was on Instagram, there was some video of a little kid's birthday party. Had to be, when I say little, like 5, 6. Some song played, and these 3 little girls got up on the wall, like on demand. It was twerking. Mina, first of all, I'm embarrassed because I can't even twerk like that. Like, and they were 5 and 6, and I was like, I feel bad watching this. Like, but I'm like, first of all, the person that recorded it, because they knew, oh, this song they going to work. But again, that at 5 and 6, like, we're not focused on so many other things. And I'm not saying that your child can't listen to music, but is that what they need to be knowing by heart?
No, and it's not even the child, it's the parent that's filming this thinking this is cute. Like, okay, when your daughter come home with a teen pregnancy because she's been twerking on somebody's son's penis, like,
because he ain't gonna know what to do with that.
Oh my God, I can't. Well, we got dissed today by the males in our lives.
Oh, y'all corny.
Y'all need to stop your ish, okay? Dexter, Garnett, get it together.
All right, y'all left us hanging.
It's all right. You see how they do us, girl? We're gonna have a girls' night out. I'm gonna invite you out to this thing I'm going to. Okay, we're gonna go out, right? You know, without them. Goodbye. We're not gonna talk to you. We're not gonna talk to you about the over sexualization of women in music because you wasn't here.
Yeah.
So, but thank you for watching on YouTube, and anyone who is listening on any of our audio platforms: Pandora, Spotify, Apple, Google, TuneIn, Alexa, Amazon, you know, iHeartRadio, all of that. Okay. I'm Mina, say what?
I'm Shana B.
We'll talk to you next week. Thank you for watching and listening. Yeah. It's the 195th episode of